I really, again, proud of the group. Really reached deep in that game and just, again, relied on our defense quite a bit. Just great effort, especially in the first half defensively. And we knew a big part of the game was going to be the three-point line defense, and they have multiple guys that could get it going from three. And I thought we did a nice job, the whole game overall doing that. We had a little bit of a stretch where we didn't rebound well second half. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of things to be upset about or worry about tonight.
Coach, you guys said a conference high of 17 assists tonight. Just what was the biggest thing that went into that?
Well, we ran less structured set plays tonight. It's just with they're very good at that pressure, and they got some good good length and athletic guys. So we had to break that, and then we were kind of against a shorter clock, and they were playing that funky matchup. And so just giving the guys even more freedom to go off the dribble, and then we kind of made good decisions. And guys cashed out on some shots. Rob had it going from the three, and Mickey threw some really nice passes. Had a really good pass to Mello, I remember. So the assists were great. I thought a key thing that we were talking about late, and we've been in a lot of these close games, and is making the little plays and the little things well. And Mickey securing that basketball that was up for grabs, and then finding a way to score it. I thought it was a big play late in the game.
Bobby, can you put into words six straight what it means for this team and what it says about this team and this program? Right?
We've had a lot of adversity all year. Just a lot of things that we've had to work through and fight through, and nothing was ever easy, and just so again, so proud of how we battled, and starting out 1-3 and where we've come. It's an amazing run we've been on.
They pushed the pace. They pushed the pace in the second half with the pressure in the backcourt. How would you assess your team handled that throughout those points?
I thought it was okay. We had a stretch where the ball was flying around a little bit. We got a 10-second violation, so there were a couple of minor issues with it. But overall, Remy wasn't, and again, I think he was fine, and I asked him a million questions, but he just wasn't quite as fiery, and he did exert a lot of energy on defense. So I thought Zoe did a nice job. He's like a one-man press break. You just give him the ball, and he's it's like a car weaving through traffic on the 101 or something. He's really got the ball on a string and just did a nice job, breaking the pressure late in the game, especially.
He also was scoreless in Eugene in 26 tonight. How far has he come? I know you expected a lot from him.
Yeah.
It's coming together now.
Yeah, I tried to tell you, Chris. It was, it's you see it enough, that eventually it has to come together. And he had that 3-game stretch that I thought would have been his stretch back in Connecticut, and it didn't. He wasn't available for that. And then to again, it's an adjustment playing with Remy, and then going again, not having the basketball as much and finding his way. And they're doing a good job of playing off each other more too, where they have ultimate trust now, I think, in both of those guys making plays out there. But I thought Rob just also, in addition to Verge, his shot making was huge, as another weapon out there tonight.
I was going to mention that. Your 3 guards combined for 61. Just how difficult do you think that makes you guys to defend when you got 3 scorers like that?
Yeah, it just goes back again to our ability to penetrate and get to the basket, and Remy can do that, and Zoe could do it, and when Rob is hitting shots, it puts enormous pressure on defenses to figure out, how are they going to help, and how are they going to, and then you put Mello in there, and so it's really, when we have those guys going in gear, we're tough to guard.
When you're playing and winning a bunch of close games?
I'm just fixated with this fly that's flying around. I'm sorry. It's just. That's over my head. All right, go ahead.
How much does that change the belief with those guys when it's another close game down the stretch?
I think it's we talked about in the huddle. We've been in a lot of these wars. Oregon's too good of a team, and they've gone to tough places and won. Went to Michigan and won on the road, and they have veteran players, and they were not going to back out of the game, give in. They made a big run at us, and we had another answer. And again, Remy maybe wasn't the focal point of our offense, but when we gave him the 1-4 late in the game, he did what he does. He got to his spot, he raised up, and nailed the big shot.
Did he need any treatment, Bobby, after he got hit? I know he came
He was looked at. You know, he came in. I think his tooth, and you could ask him. He was elbowed right in the mouth, so his tooth was a little bit loose. He had said to me after the game, but you know, I personally asked him a lot of questions to make sure that he was okay, and he answered everything, you know, perfectly for me.
That increased freedom that you talked about, is that something you anticipate relying on more?
It depends on the opponent, and like, you know, again, they pressed us. We were up against a shorter clock. It was the matchup zone, so it's a little different. And it was really loud in there, which was really good. I enjoyed that. But it's hard to always direct and get everyone on the same page with what we're doing on offense. So you got to trust your guys that could, you know, go and have a little more freedom to make a play.
Because the crowd did deliver tonight, did they deliver what you wanted?
Awesome environment, you know, terrific environment. It was prime time. It was, you know, 9 o'clock in the East. It was on ESPN, and it was a great showing by Sun Devil Nation coming out, and you know, it was on par with you know, the Arizona game and the Kansas game last year. I thought it was an unbelievable energy in the crowd.
Bobby, can you describe your nerves as a coach and just the roller coaster of emotions you experience in this big of a game?
I wouldn't want anyone to be in my body sometimes out there to have to experience that. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. There's so many things that go on. The things could turn on a second. Even when we were up 4, I mean, I trusted Remy was going to go there and make the free throws, or at least make one. But you still got to remind the guys, hey, he could miss both. We're up 4. We can't foul a 3-point shooter with 5 seconds left. There's always something that you have to you know, deal with over there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's I'm pretty tired now. I got just under 48 hours, and we'll be out here again.
What's the biggest difference between the team that was 1-3 and this team now?
I've said it before, like Remy has got such a strong will to win, and he won't let us lose. There were a few games he refused to let us lose. Ramelle White's a warrior. He battles every game, and statistically it always doesn't show up. But like when you have that guy back there, it gives me so much confidence. And then the emergence of Verge and all the hustle plays, and again, a lot of things that don't show up in the box score from Mickey Mitchell, and the intangible things. We've gotten way more production, out of the 4 spot.
Strong perimeter defense, especially a lot of double teams in the early going. What was your mindset to guard from here?
Well, we just early in our first matchup versus Oregon at their place, we let shooters get loose, and they hit way too many threes early in that game, and they had a good comfort level. And then we virtually played them even the rest of the game, outside of the first like 6 or 7 minutes where we didn't get the shooters. So we talked about that quite a bit in game preparation, about playing with energy, getting them off the line. I thought our activity was good. We had a lot of deflections. I think they had 11 turnovers at halftime. I'm not sure what they finished with, but that was a good way, a good gauge for the energy we're playing at that end of the floor.
Obviously a quality win against a good team that you're right up there with at the top, so it just seems like everything's coming together for this team right now.
Yeah, well, we have to turn the page, and again, it's not an easy thing to do. You beat a ranked team on your home floor with a lot on the line, and there's a lot of pressure to hold serve and to keep advancing in the standings, or at least hold your ground in the standings. And that's really all I'm thinking about right now is Oregon State, and they lost tonight. They'll be desperate. They are experienced players. They have an NCAA tournament type of resume, if things break their way. So we have to have our best stuff on Saturday night.
On Pritchard specifically, how were you able to contain him in the first half, and what changed in the second half, or was it just a matter of?
We talked about the guys just stepping up individually and taking the challenge, and it was on them. It was Remy, it was Zoe, it was Rob Edwards, it was House, whoever was on Peyton, made it difficult. Obviously the fouls, impacted his minutes in that half, and we knew the second half he was going to come out super aggressive. And I mean, and that shot he hit, it shows why he's one of the better players in college basketball, because that 3 he hit was like an all or nothing 3, and it was probably 30 plus feet, and he drained it. I think our aggression helped. We put him in a bad spot on his 5th foul, But they exerted tremendous energy. Our ball screen coverage was good with Ramelle White and Mickey and those guys. So it's a group effort when you guard someone of his caliber.
You had to feel a lot better when you went to the bench with 5 fouls, though.
Well, I mean, he really was getting it going in the second half, like you would expect, a guy like him, and he had just hit the big 3, and the game was tight, and he's had a track record for hitting big shots late in games against teams to close them out. So it was good to see him over on the sideline.
Got two guys here now.
Thank you, guys.
Coach.